we'll be continuing on that. So welcome to your live session 3 of Python for Business Analytics. Today we are going to start with Introduction to Data Visualization. But before we start data visualization, we'll be completing few topics from the pandas. One is your grouping and summarization, which we started. We have left off certain discussions there, and merging of the database, and then how to save your data set to your CSV file. See, we have loaded our CSV file to a data frame. Now we are going to do the reverse, saving a data frame to our CSV file. So before I begin today's class, are there any queries from yesterday or day before or from the project? Can you please share it on the chat? And those who do not have any queries, can you please open your yesterday's code, the case study analysis of T20 matches? Yes, Sikanto, please go ahead and ask the question. You want me to unmute you? Just a second, Sukanto. Lokesh, can you hear me? I'm not able to unmute Sukanto. Can you do that?
A minute, I can help you out.
Yeah, because yesterday I was able to do that. Today I'm not able to do it.
Shukantu, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, give me a minute, Shukantu. Ma'am, I'm just giving you the host access so that you can do this now.
Sure, please. And Lokesh, yesterday I was also having a problem in case I want to give the rights to the learners to share their screen. How can I do that? I was not able to do that one also.
Right now this is in webinar. Let me figure out for you. Give me some couple of minutes, because meetings maybe we can do that, but webinar there's no option in Zoom.
Okay, then it's okay. Fine, no problem. So we'll do that on chat, no problem. But I have rights now to unmute the learners, right?
Yeah, ma'am. We have right now have a rights to unmute the learners, and I already unmuted the Sukantu.
Okay, Sukantu, can you please go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I was trying to solve the optional questions which were given in the session 2 Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So regarding question 4 and 5, I was trying to solve, like it's asking which team had maximum win by runs in final and maximum win by wickets in final. So as such, there's no separate column for a match which is classified as final. So how do we approach it? Like, do we sort by the dates for each season, and like the last match played for that season is the final? Is that how we do it? Or
yes, that is what you have to do. See, that is where your knowledge of cricket comes into play. Right. What you will do is you will sort that on the date for a particular season, whatever is the last date, the tail one. Yeah. Tail one will be the, we will consider that will be the final match. That means after the final is played, no more matches are played in that particular season. That is the one assumption we are going to go ahead with.
Okay. So for every season, like I was able to do it for one season, but there are so many seasons. Like, do I have to do it step by step for every season? Like, is
no,
it,
do thing. You group by season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you sort it on the dates, and then you get tail one.
Okay, got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, Sukantu?
Ma'am, just a second. Yeah, ma'am, there was another one, which decision has been, sorry, I'm just getting to that one. Yeah. Okay, I think that was there on the slide. Which decision was more beneficial in terms of the toss decision, to field or to bat first? So there
Okay.
again, we had to like, is it for every team, or like I didn't understand the question really.
Okay. All right. This is the question we are going to tackle in the LS4, where we are going to do it with data visualization. But but the same thing, you need to have data before put it on visualization. So just the question says is, suppose how beneficial is my toss decision? So you have a toss winner with you in the data.
Yeah.
You have a toss decision in that data.
Yeah.
Then you have the winner of the match, right? So if the toss winner is the winner of the match, that means his toss decision was good.
Okay, got it.
Got it?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
So in that way, you get, if the toss winner and the winner are same, that means my toss decision is good. So you will get the data from there.
Got it, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay. So can I go ahead today? All right. Yesterday we were having discussion on grouping and summarization, and a couple of you have questions about the output format of the group by. So can we all open that particular code we were discussing yesterday? So if you have in your own data set, you can please open in your data set notebook, and otherwise you can open on the notebook that has been shared by me. Okay, so what is it? Okay, so we were discussing grouping and summarization of the data, right? So I hope you all, okay, just a second. Okay, let me check, Shan. Shan, the panelist, the upgrade coordinator has left. So whatever your chats are, that is directed to me only. I think I can send chat to you guys. Let me check. Did you receive, all of you received my chat? So if you change, and now if you reply to that, from 2, you cannot change it to, okay, everyone is disabled. All right, I'll give you some exercise and I'll send a message to the, yes, Sambit, I know, I will send the message to the upgrade moderator today, and let's see if he can help us out. Okay, just a second, let me do that first. All right, guys, I've sent him the message and hopefully he will be able to rectify it. So let's go ahead. Okay. All right. Yesterday, when we were discussing grouping and summarization, I hope you got what is the meaning of grouping and summarization, right? So let's move ahead. We were doing this question, right? When we figured out that the output of group by can be a series or can be a data frame. See, the group by has an option given by it through its background coding that it can upcast or a downcast. That is the meaning that if I run a group by on a data frame, right? If it is done only on one variable, right? It will give me output as series. But if I do a group by on more than one, I run the aggregation, sorry, not the group by, that's the aggregation function on more than one variable, it will give me a data frame. Let me go ahead and tell you something. Okay, let me share my whiteboard first. So when I talk about my group by, can you see my? Yeah. All right. So when I talk about group by function, okay, my group by function, I work in conjunction with an aggregation function. Okay, the group by function works in conjunction with the aggregation function. Now this aggregation function could be sum, could be mean, could be count, and so on, right? Now if I perform it on, say, sum on batting runs and say sum on total runs together, so I am doing it using two variables. I'll just show you the code for it. Okay, so when I'm using an aggregation function, any of the aggregation function on two variables, okay, it will give me an output always as a data frame. All right, but if I use it on one only, say batting runs, the output always be series, right? So there are two options, and this is a feature of group by. So whenever I'm doing a group by, and guys, are you able to hear me? Yes, okay. So whenever I'm doing a group by, all right, I can also do a group by one variable or two variable, all right. So I'll just show you, we have a couple of examples, we can do that today. So whenever I'm doing a group by, either one or two, doesn't matter. But if I'm doing in any aggregation function, sum, mean, count, mode, median, whatever, on more than two variables, my output is data frame. But if I'm doing on single variable, my output is series. Yesterday, what we did was we did it on one variable, right? We were doing it on one variable, but we made pandas think that we are doing it on two variable by providing it in the list. So if I provide my variable within the list, it will think that it is doing it on more than one variable. So my output would be data frame. But if I give it like this, okay, my output would be series. All right. So it is your choice. If you are doing it by one variable, you can have your series output, you can have your data frame output. Yes, Ankur, you're right. A list has to be passed if I want the output to be the data frame. Okay. Now let's see various I tried different combinations, and let's see what are the outputs. So you guys have your answers from yesterday. Otherwise, I'll just give you, you have the notebook, right? You have the notebook, my notebook with you. Otherwise, I'll just in the chat share you with you guys the two variations we are discussing. This is the first variation, and this is the second variation. I posted on chat for the people who do not have it. You can replace the data frame name with whatever the data frame name you have given in your notebook. Okay, so just remember that, otherwise it will give that error. All right, let's work on the first variation. Okay, In the first variation, I'm getting an output as a data frame where I have grouped by batting team and have given the summation on total runs. Okay, so let's just find what is the type I'm getting. Okay, I'm just worrying about the type right now. So I am getting a series, right? Now in this variation, if I give it a list as a list, so I'd make it as a double square brackets. Okay, so let me execute it. And now I'm getting a data frame. So whatever variation, and let's see the second variation also. In the second variation, if I run with a list inside a square bracket, that is 2 square brackets, it will give me an output as data frame. And if I give it with a single one, it will give me a series. Now it depends upon you whether you want the output as a data frame and on the series or as a series. The choice is yours. You can run with anything, right? Now the second question was sorting, right? How do I sort if it is a series or if it is a data frame? All right, so let's go ahead and do that also. So now here I have given it a series, right? Now yesterday what happened was, I think Vikram was doing it. Correct me if I'm wrong. What he was trying to do is he got the output as series, right? And then he was trying to sort the values using by and the column name. Okay, this one out, and he got an error. See, he got an error. Now why did he got an error? Let's try to analyze that. Now when you get an output as series and I print my output, you see I have the batting team, but I do not have any column name out here, right? I do not have any column name out here. So when yesterday, when it was given by total runs, the error was correct because there is no total runs out here. Since it's a series, it has one batting team and then here the values, right? So now if I get a series, how do I sort it? The simple thing is, if you need to sort it, just say sort values and do not give any attribute. Do not pass any attribute because it's a series and series is my one dimension array. So it will automatically sort on this. So let's see, let's run this. See, it has sorted. So the mistake that was done was that we tried to give by equal to total runs where there was in series, there was nothing called as total runs column. So if I need to sort the values, I can give directly sort values. And if I need to do it in the ascending order, descending order, I'll give ascending as false. I'll get my data in ascending order. Okay. Now, if you really want to specify the column, right, that I need to specify the column. So the column in series is identified as axis, and this is my first axis, so 0. Remember we did 0 axis, 1 axis and 2 axis. So this axis is 0. So you can go ahead and say sort on axis 0 and ascending false. So you're going to get the same output. So this is how you do it in your series. How do you sort your data in your series? Now, if you do it on the, you got this, how to do it on series? Any queries? Yes, Ankur. The pandas couldn't find the column. There is no column name in series, right? The series is the output it has given batting team and your total runs. Okay. So it didn't have any, total runs. So it could not identify that column name. All right, learners, can you please check whether you are able to send the chat because the problem has been rectified?
Parallelly, Professor Smita, can you give me the host access once?
Lokesh, you are co-host.
Yeah, I'm the co-host. Can you give me the host access once, please? So I given you the host access. Please.
Okay, I'll make you the host.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Given.
Oh.
Just wait, Shyam. Lokesh is doing it. Let's continue while he's working with that. Okay. So you guys got it? How the series thing work?
Shanmuganathan, can you check now?
All right. Can you guys check now, please? Whether yes, they are able to send.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sharing the host access back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for the support. Thank you.
Okay. So this is how we do it in series, right? All right. Now let's try for the data frame. All right. So I can generate data frame. I'll generate data frame with this format. And this is something we have done yesterday. So I'll run it. And you can see I have the output as data frame. Now the way we sorted yesterday. Okay. So using by value, because here we have, if you see, I have the total runs column, which was missing in my series. So I can sort it by total runs and give the sending false and go ahead with whatever my further analysis is. All right. I hope you guys got it up till now. Any queries? Vikram is asking access1 denotes rows. Yes, it does denote rows, but here we do not have any kind of, row. We cannot sort here on the row, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's play around with grouping and let's play around with the grouping more and just to understand how grouping and summarization work. All right. Okay. So all of you did this question number 10. Who are the top 10 batsmen who have scored most number of runs? I think 10 you guys have done. There is no difference. There is no difference, Ankur, whether you do it before or after. The difference here was whether you're giving the column name as list or single column name. You can do it after, you can do it before. There is no difference. You'll get the same output. Okay. Now let's try to do grouping on more than 2 column names, or as we say in general terms, on more than 2 features. Okay. So let's try to do grouping. So what I have done is I have done here a group by function on my team name and the name of my batsman. So, and then summing upon the total runs scored by the batsman and in total runs that was credited to the team. Okay. So you got this? What I'm doing out here? I'm grouping the data on 2 column names, my batting team and my batsman. So now when I'll get an output for each batting team, for each batsman that has played, I'll get the total of the batsman run as well as the total runs. Okay. So this is how Let me execute. Okay. This is how I'm getting the output. So now when Chennai Super Kings were playing, Flintoff, he scored 62 and the total runs credited to him was, to the team was 72. That means 10 was my extra runs. 62 that Flintoff scored and 10 was the extra runs. So can you please guys go ahead and execute this and see you get an output? Let me know if you're able to do this one. Okay. All right. I want you guys to go ahead and group on season and on team. All right. And tell me the total runs scored by each team in each season. Give me the very top answer you get for say 2008. For 2008, let me know what KKR or any other, whatever the team you get on the top has scored. Please go ahead and do that exercise so that I have confidence that you guys got this. I want you guys to group by I want the answer, say for the season 2008 batting team A, that is the total score. For B, this is the total score. For C, this is the total score. All right, Shan, I'm repeating the question. I want an answer. I want you to tell me what is the total score by each team for each season. What is the total score by each team for each season? Got it? Please go ahead and tell me the answer. Just tell me the very first answer you get. I mean, this first row, because you will be getting multiple rows. You got the question, Shyam? Can you guys see it on the whiteboard? Yep. Okay, please. Yes, you guys able to do it? Yes. Can I have some answers, please? If you're able to do it, if you just have to copy paste the above code. And do some little tweaking. All right. Need to merge for the session. Oh, okay. Yes. Season, you need to merge, right? So we'll do this query after the merging. Yes. So that is what now the next topic we are going to discuss is that is what. So here I have another group by. Here I have find out. I did a grouping on season and which team is the winner and on win by runs. So, okay. So the question here I have done is, I was working from executing IPL matches data frame. Yes. Okay, IPL matches data frame don't have your total runs and your deliveries don't have your season. Right? So that is what I was coming up to. That is why I was wondering why I'm not getting an answer. You guys must be looking for both, how to get both in one. Yes, Sambit, you have questions. Please ask. You want me to unmute? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you are.
Hi, Professor. Actually,
Yeah.
how means if we group by, okay, so we group by season, we want top row of each every session. So how we can get that?
You are asking how do we get just the top row? No,
Yeah.
you cannot get just the top row, right? When you if you do head, you will get only for that particular season, right?
Yes,
So you cannot just get only the top row. Okay, that is not possible. What I asked the question was season and the batting team total score. For that, you need to merge your both the data sets, your matches as well as deliveries, which is our next task. Okay.
No. In that optional question, like it was there, right? Who played like most number of matches in the finals, most final. So if we like group by every session and we can get the last row from each session, then we can know, right? Means who played most number of.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Shamit, I'll give you this answer. Let me check if I have done it myself. I did it, but I don't have it in this notebook. Which team has played most number of finals, right? Okay, I'll give you the answer. I'll send this answer to you guys. Okay. Right now, I don't have it with me, I guess. No, I don't have it. Let me check. I'll let you know. Okay. All right. I'll let you know some with the answer. Okay. I did. Okay. So let's go ahead and okay. All right. So another merging I tried was, another grouping I tried was season and the winner, and I did it on win by runs. So I can do win or I can do any other aggregation function. So this is just for trial. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about merging of the data set. All right. Now, when I'm talking about, when I'm talking about merging of data sets, how many of you guys are aware about the joins of databases? Because that is what we are going to talk about now. Okay. So when I talk about merging, right? Merging, okay, not aware, right? Merging is nothing but joining. Here I have two data sets, right? I have match, I have deliveries. All right. Can you tell me what is a common column between them? What is the common column between them? Is there a common column between them? ID and match ID, right? Match has ID and deliveries has match ID, right? And both of them refers to the same thing, the unique match ID, right? So when I'm going to merge the data, I should merge this data on this parameter. Otherwise, what will happen? The data from one match, the balls delivered in one match will go to the balls delivered in the another match, right? So it will be a lot of confusion. So let's try to understand it by a simple terms. Okay, let me take a very simple example and try to understand it. Say I have a table, right, or called as orders, where I have order ID, order, and a customer ID. So if the first order was for A and it was picked by customer 2, second order was order for B and picked by customer 5. Let's have 3 orders. And there is a third order for C and it was picked by customer 3, right? Something like this. I have a total order, order table. Then I have a customer ID. I have a customer table where I have the customer ID, the customer name, and say his mobile number. Okay, so I have customer 1, name Anna, customer 2, name Birju, customer 3, name Kathy, customer 4, Danny, and customer 5, Martha, and some of their mobile numbers. So I'm not worried about that. All right. Now, looking at these two tables, I know order A was picked up by customer 2, that is Birju, and order 5 was picked up by Martha, and order 3 was picked up by Kathy, right? In these two tables, my common ID was customer ID, right? That is why I was able to match which customer picked what, right? Now, what if I want these details on my single table, on a merged data set? Say I want the output something like this: order ID, order, and customer ID, customer name, and its mobile number, right? What if I want my data on a single table, say for my CRM, when I'm discussing or when I'm analyzing it? So what I'll do is, in databases, we use the term join, and here we are going to use the term merge. All right. Here we are going to use the term merge. So it works on the same principle. Now there are 4 types of joins: inner, left, outer, and full. Same way, we have all 4 types of merge here, right? When I do an inner join between orders and customer, are you guys aware of the Venn diagram? Are you aware of? You must have done this in 12th. Venn diagrams, intersections and unions. Some kind of Venn diagram. Class 12 maths. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I can explain it to that. So when I do an inner join, okay, what I get, say this is my order and this is my customer. I only get those data set which are present in both. For example, say if I have a 4th order here, D, and it is picked by customer 10, and I do not have any entry for 10. So this data will not appear in this table. Okay. So when I do the join, and if I have any order for which I do not have any entry for customer, this data will not appear here. Similarly, my data for Anna, my data for Danny, which is not present in order ID, which they have not given any orders, they will also not appear in this table. So I'll get an intersection of these two tables on the customer ID. So what I'll have order 1, that is A, picked up by 2. The name was Birju and it was the excess data. Then I have order 2, B, picked up by customer 5, that was Martha and its excess data. And then I'll have 3, C, and 3 here again, Kathy, and so on. So I did not get this data because I do not have any corresponding data here. And I do not get this and this data because I do not have any corresponding data out here. So this is my inner join. Okay. So you got that inner join? Let me know, because then I'll clear this part and go ahead with the next join. You got the inner join, everyone? You want to note it down, you can note it down, the explanation. You get an understanding, right? Now let's see what happens if I do a left join. Now, when I go ahead and do a left join, whatever happens, say if I take order and then join it, or say merge, if I talk in terms of, and then customer. Okay. So on my left is order and on my right is customer. Okay. So when I go ahead and do a left join, sorry, this is a right join. Outer is different. We'll talk about outer is not here in merge. We'll talk about it later. So when I do a left join, I have this order and this customer. What I get in output is my entire table of order and only those data that is matching with customer. So for here, my output would be order ID 1, A, 2, Birju, 2, B, 5, Martha, 3, C, 3, Kathy, and here I'll get the 4 also, which was picked D by customer 10. But since I do not have any corresponding data in my customer, I'll get a NaN values out there. So if I go for a left join, I'll get the entire order table or whatever, whichever table you have mentioned in the left side, whichever data set you have mentioned in the left side, you will get that entire order and only that part of customer data which matches. And for the data, there is no corresponding customer data, you get a NaN value. All right. You got this? Okay. Yes, mobile numbers will also come. I just, because I did not mention it there, the values will be there. The values will be there. The values, whatever the values I have here, it will be there. Only those values which are not there, that is for customer 10, that will be filled up with the NaN or null values. Now, same thing will happen in case of write. Now, in the write, I have the customer. Here, I'll have the entire customer data and only those data which comes with the order. So it happens. Now, let's see what will be our output. Now, what it is saying is, if I go ahead and do the right join, okay? If I go ahead and do the right join, all right, what it will give me is all my customer data. So I'll have all my customer 3, 4, 5, Anna, Birju, Kathy, Danny, Martha, their mobile numbers, and okay, one has picked no order, so NaN. 2 has picked order ID 1 and order A. So I'll have some data for it. In case the customer has picked 2 orders, there will be double row. So there will be another row fit 2 and Birju and another order it fit here. He has picked one more order. All right. So 3 has picked third order C and 4 has not picked any order. So again an NaN, and I think 5th has picked that order 2, and so it will have a B. So any customer which has picked more than 2 orders will have multiple rows for it. Okay. So, and any customer which has not picked any order, they will have now the NaN values in the order ID and the order. Got it? You got what the right join is? Okay. Now, when I say a full join means all the data. So I have all the data of order ID, I will have all the data of the customer ID, and for whatever columns I do not have the data, the values will be null. Okay. So the values, do you want me to show the table, that table, or you guys got it? Let me know if you want me to draw the table for the full. Got it. Okay. Got it. So can I go ahead and now go back to case study? If you got this concept. So this is a join concept. This is very widely used in your databases. And yes, okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to do what? We are going to merge our databases from matches as well as from the deliveries. And we are going to do it on the match ID. So I'm going to write it, the merge data set. Now, this is my data frame, which I will get as an output, merged Ipl deliveries. My Ipl deliveries is on right, on left. Now I'm merging it with matches. So my deliveries is my left data set. My matches is my right data set. Okay. For deliveries, the column name is left on. So left on will specify on what column ID I'm going to do the join on, which is a common one. So when you are merging a data set, you need to have at least one column that is matching. Here we have the, okay. So this is how. And in how we are going to define inner. See, I don't want to create more null values in my database. Okay, I already have some null values today, and we will be dealing it in the missing section when we are cleaning the database. So I do not want any more values, null values. I'm only interested for which I have all the values. So I'll go ahead and do a inner join. Okay, I'm not printing my data set because data frame. So I'll go ahead and ask for the info. So when I go and ask for info, I have total of 39 columns. Okay, I have total of 39 columns, and I have around 180,000 rows, approximately 179,000 rows. Okay, so these you will have now all the columns out here. All right, now you have in the merge data set. Can you please go ahead and do the merging? No, when you do the full, you will have all the deliveries and all the matches. See, in this case, it might be that full and left and right will give you the similar output, because no data is missing in the case of, for each and every match ID, you have a corresponding deliveries, and for each and every IDs, you have a corresponding match. So it will be almost same. Okay, it will be almost same, Vikram. Right? Should we not first cleanse the data and then do merge operation? Harshit, yes, we should be doing that. But since I'll be doing the cleaning operation after this merging, we'll have a cleaning operation and preparation, everything, so that we have a clean visualization. We'll do that. Usually, whenever you are dealing with a case study, you deal with your cleaning and preparation data first, and then you go ahead sorting, filtering, and things like that. But since your course is designed in this way that filtering and pandas are discussed first and then the cleaning, so I'm going accordingly. All right, all of you guys have merged data sets. Okay, now what I want you to do is just go ahead and try to see. See, we have 39 rows. We have approximately 179,000. Sorry, 39 columns and 179,000 rows. So when I look at its head, I can see a whole lot of data which we have been playing with around for last two yesterday also. So now my question is, I want the answer. What are the runs scored by MS Dhoni in each IPL season? Can you guys get this answer from the merged dataset? Can you get this answer from the merged dataset? Please try it. Here you will be using filtering, here you will be using grouping, and here you will be using summarization. So just try this. I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we can go ahead and discuss it. What are the runs by? If you don't like MS Dhoni, you can go for Virat Kohli or Chris Gayle, whatever you like, for a particular batsman in each IPL season. Yes. Okay. So this is how we do it. Now we have, since we have to, I need both the season, I need the batsman, I need the batsman run. Okay. So what I'll do is, first of all, I'll say from my merged data set, filter out the data for my batsman. Okay. I have done batsman, MS Dhoni. Then I want it to be grouped by season. Okay. Then I want it to be grouped by season. And then I want sum on the batsman run. So here you can go for single. If you've gone for single, you will get output as series otherwise. So by default, my season is sorted and I'm getting the output for the Dhoni. Everyone got this? Sukanto got it. And what about the rest? Just let me know, yes or no. So I have used filtering, I have used season, and I have used submission. And the next question I have for you guys is, what are the runs scored by each team in each IPL session? All right, please go ahead. Those who have done it, you can go ahead and do the second question. What are the runs scored by each team in each IPL session? By each team in each IPL session. Oh, sorry, each IPL season. So again, you are going to do no filtration out here. You just do the grouping and you get the sum. Done? Let me know so I can move ahead. Okay. Just copy the code from your previous answer and change your group bys and sums. So here I have an output, the teams for each season and the total runs. Done. Good. Now, can you see if I want, I try to make it more and more complicated. Now, what I have done is I have done it on team or season, or what if I do reverse? So you must just a second. Spelling mistake. So now you guys got it. So by the order you have given, first if I have given the batting team, I got the name of the batting team first and all their season. And now I have given the season first and I have got the batting team later. Okay. Yes. Season spelling, it was a mistake, right? Okay. So the way you want to analyze your data, you want to do season wise for each team, or you want team wise for each season, right? You can change the order and get it. Now what I want, I have till now used only one aggregation function, sum. What if I want the average runs and I want to run mean? So I want what? I want the total runs as well as the average runs scored by each batsman of each team in each IPL season. Excuse me. All right, you guys go ahead and try this one. What are the totals now? I want two aggregations, total runs and the average runs. That means I'm going to run summation of total runs and I'm going to run mean on total runs. And then I have to group it by for each batsman, for each team, for each IPL season. Please go ahead and do it and let me know when you're done. Okay, only Sukanto was able to do. What about the rest? See, I do the same thing. I do it on the merged data set. I do grouping by season, batting team, batsman. Now here, instead of 2, I have moved on to 3. Now, you know that we can do the column name before or after. We have done those variations. So I want to do grouping on, see, I'm concentrating the runs scored by each batsman. So I'm concentrating on my column batsman run. Now I want 2 aggregation functions to work on, sum and mean. So I give aggregation AGG and the name of the 2 functions. You can ignore right now this reset index. We'll talk about it later. Okay. And run. So here, for each season, for each team, for each batsman, I know what are the total score and what is its average run. So let's see if I can identify. For Sunrisers, Escher or God score 8 runs with a mean of 2. So I have around 1800 such rows. Okay, so this is a big data set. You guys got this? The main aim here was how to do more than one aggregation function. I'm not getting the sum mean as title. Okay, why you are not getting? Did you give sum and mean as the list? Can you send me the, can you put it on the chat, your code? Can you put it on the chat? So let me see the difference. Just check on the type of your output. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Yes, Samit, please ask. You want me to unmute? Yeah, Samit.
Yeah, actually, when I'm running that aggregation, okay,
Mhm.
so I am getting like batsman runs as top of that column, and inside that one, I am getting like sum and mean, okay, because I
Okay.
have provided two means I have given input in a list. So, but if I want to sort only by sum, then how I am going to do that?
I didn't get your question, Samit.
Can you do means in your query, can you just put one more bracket in front of batsman runs?
Okay.
Like you need to give, if we want to give it
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So now it will think my batsman runs. Execute. Yeah. So
it is
yeah.
it is getting as top of that column. So
Mhm.
means how I am going to sort it, or if I want to do by only sum, then how I'll be going to do it?
You want to sort the values based on the sum, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. We can do it like this. Let me check. It is saying Batman's run not defined. Okay, just a second. Check for duplicates. Since it's not identifying it submit it, what you have to do is you have to rename your columns. You have to use the rename command. So output, whatever you have scored out here, right? You need to rename it, and then you have to do the sorting on that rename. I have done a similar example in my data visualization. Right now, let me see if I have it here.
Because for single column it is okay, but if we want to do for multiple columns, then I think there will be error. Because
yes, there will be problem because it is not identifying sum under batsman run, right? So
yeah.
what I have to do is I have to rename these columns. Okay, you need to rename it, and then only you will be able to do the sorting. Okay, so I'll give you an example.
Okay. Okay, in data visualization. Okay, I'll remind you.
Yeah. I'll give it in the next class positively. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now. See, so what we have done here is we have grouped on 3 features or 3 columns. Now this was little messy as an output, so I reduced it to only season and batting team and on the total run. So now I am getting season, a batting team, and whatever their sums and means were. Right now, what if I want a better visualization for them? I can have a better visualization by using a pivot table. So anyone has an idea what a pivot table is? Yes. Anyone has an idea, a brief idea what a pivot table is? Yes, you have used in Excel. So yes, please tell me what a pivot table is. Good, you guys have a knowledge of, you have done it in Excel. So anyone who can take up what a pivot table is? Summary based on customized requirement, right? Okay, I'll take that. See, in pivot table, you have a tabular data, right? What now I have grouped here by season and I have grouped here by batting team. And I am say talking about the sum of their total runs. Now, instead of getting a output like this, season and the teams and their total runs, what I can do is I can convert this kind of my visual data representation into pivot table where I have seasons on one side, say on my rows, and I have my teams as columns, and whatever the sum for particular season and for particular team is as my data points. So I have season here 2008, 2009, and so forth, and my teams as KKR, Royal Challengers, Mumbai Indians. So whatever the intersection of my row and column, I'll have that particular data point. So this is kind of facility my pivot table gives to me, and since you guys already done it in Excel, so let's see how we do it in the pandas. All right, let's go ahead and do the pivoting. Now, what we are going to do is simply we call upon PD pandas, we call upon pivot underscore table. Whatever the data set I want to use matches only, I can use matches only. If I want to use deliveries only, here I'm using my merged data set. Okay. So on my rows, I have season. On my columns, I have my batting team. And I have what value? So I want to do it on total runs. And I'm going to use np.sum. That is I'm calling from my numpy, the sum function as an aggregation function. You can just write sum also. So when I execute this command, so Daily Capital has not played in 2008 because it was their Daredevils, right? So we'll be doing a cleaning up of the data right now after this. So we will clean up the data and then we should do the pivoting. And then you will have lesser of null values. Okay. So please go ahead and run this. It's a simple example I have taken for pivoting. Let me know when you're done. Yes, guys, you're doing it? Or should I go ahead? Getting key error for total runs. Are you doing it on the right data set? So Kanto, just check. You're doing it on the merged one? Okay, can you just give me your code out here? Let me check. Okay, you figured it out. Fine. What was the problem? Okay, let's go ahead. Now, most of you guys, I believe I must have done it. Now, what if I want to save my data set? Okay, we were putting the name of your data set first. Done. So now, since we have loaded our data set, what if I want to save my data set? It's a simple command to CSV. Whatever the data frame you want to save, just say to CSV and name of your file. You want any kind of indexing, or you can put it as false and execute it. And when you go and see it on your home, let me change the name out here so that merge, let me put it LS in the live session. Okay. So when I go ahead and execute it, you can see it has been created, merge ls underscore IPL data. Okay. So this is command to save your output. All right. Now let's begin our introduction to data visualization. So I'm doing it on a fresh notebook. You can do it on you can continue on your same notebook, right? So you can continue on the same notebook. I've just done it on a fresh. So I'll just go ahead and import my numpys, load my data set. Now here I'm going to initially be using only matches and not deliveries. Okay, so when I'll be doing most of my cleaning and preparation operations on the matches. So I have my matches. I read it, I checked its info, and now let's talk about cleaning the database. Now, when we were having info about matches, we saw some cities were missing and some values of empires are missing. Some values of winners and player of the match were missing. So whenever you are cleaning your database, you should always, first, you should load your data set. Second, you should understand your data set. So you understand your data set by running info, head, tail, shape, describe, whatever data information you want about your data set. Now, once you have understood what data set you have, you try to identify, see, you will be a very, very lucky person in this world if you get a clean data set. Okay, you will be a very, very lucky person. So any raw data set which comes to you, it will have its own share of problems. The share of problems it can have is missing data. Okay, so there might be certain data which will be missing. They forgot to enter it, or they did not know what was the value, so data was not there. So that's missing data. And you can check, how do you handle a missing data? You check for the null values and you replace them with appropriate values, or you can go ahead and drop those values. If there's too much of that data missing, you can go ahead and drop those values. Secondly, there might be, it is very interesting in the real time, you might have data sets which have columns, 50, 60 columns, but you actually only require 30 or 35 columns for your analysis. So you can go ahead and drop those columns and rows which are not required for data analysis. Like in this data set of matches, I'm not doing any kind of analysis on my empire 1, empire 2, and empire 3. So I can very well go ahead and drop those columns as it is not required for my analysis. Then third problem that can arise in your database could be of a duplicate data, right? There might be some duplicate data. You need to identify them and remove those duplicate data. In this data set, we do not have that problem, okay? Then there is a very interesting thing that comes, like same data point may have different data values. Say, for example, I am collecting the data from my store 1 and store 2. The store 1 data, what it did was, for entering the gender for male and female, it has written male completely and female completely. Okay. So my first problem was of missing data, right? My second problem was of duplicate data. My third problem is many data values for same data point. Say I have a gender. Now some store enter it as MNF and some store enter it as male and female. And some decided, no, I want to enter as 0 and 1. So when I merge these data set from my source 1, my source 2, and for my source 3, for my same gender column, I get different values. So what I need to do is to make sure that is a uniform representation of that same data point. Okay. Then another problem is incorrect data. Right? For example, like in this data set only. Earlier, most of the entries you will see is referring the city as Bangalore. And now the name of the city has changed to Bangalore. Now, for the same location, for the same data point, I have multiple Bangalore and Bangalore. So I need to correct this data so that whenever I am doing analysis on a city, these two data are merged. So these two data are taken into the consideration. Okay. And what else? Yes. Now suppose then there is an issue of incorrect data type. Now I want to do a summarization of total runs or on sales or on say my stock prices. but instead of int or float, those values are object. Then I won't be able to do summarization. If they are defined as object, so I won't be able to do summarization. For that, I need to make sure I change it using as type and change them into int or float. Now, another problem is of outliers. We will be doing outliers today. I hope so. Otherwise, in the next class, we will be doing it. Now, the problem with outliers is, say, if I'm doing an analysis of salary of employees of Reliance, should I be including Mukesh Ambani's salary in it? Because it will skew my database. But if I'm doing a credit card fraud analysis, then outliers are most important, because in case something out of the normal has happened, only my outliers will be able to detect it. So these are the kind of issues that you generally face with your data set. So let's try to solve some of the problems with our current data set. So the first problem is, I do not want empire 1, 2, and 3 because I'm not using it in my analysis. So what I'll do is I'll use a drop command. I'll give the list of columns I do not want, empire 1, 2, and 3. By putting in place equal to true means I'm changing my source data set. I'm not creating a new one. I'm not assigning it to a new data frame. I'm going ahead and doing it in my data set. So I'll be doing mostly in place true so that I'm rectifying my base data set. So please go ahead and execute it. And then when you check columns, you see the empire 1, 2, 3 are missing out here. We had empire 1, 2, 3 after venue. So we have, they are gone. Okay, remember empire 3 had so many null values. Since we are not doing any kind of analysis, so we can go ahead and drop ahead there. Done? Yeah. The next thing we are going to handle is the incorrect data, or say the missing data, right? So let's try to run a unique command on the cities. And can you tell me the problem out here? I've already told you, but you can see I have two cities, Bangalore and Bangalore. And by the knowledge of Indian cities, I know both the cities are same. Is there any such more cities? So Mumbai is Mumbai only, Kolkata is Kolkata. Okay. Chennai, there is no other name. Good. So only one city is having a problem, Bangalore and Bangalore. So same cities been represented by two different names. So this is one issue I have identified. Okay. So the issue I have identified is Bangalore is now called as Bangalore. So some data has my entry as Bangalore. So I need to correct that data. So this is one issue I'm going to handle. Let's try to run unique on team 1. Let's try to run unique on team 1. Okay, can you tell me what are the problems out here? Please let me know what are the problems out here. Okay, Hiten says Delhi. All right. I have Delhi represented as Delhi Daredevils and as Delhi Capitals. Any other team? Pune Super Giants, right? And there is Shan is right. Pune has two teams. Anybody, anything else? Anyone can identify? Hyderabad. Okay, Sukanto says Hyderabad. Hyderabad, I'm seeing only one team. Sunrise Hyderabad. Okay. Deccan Chargers is also Hyderabad. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thanks. They are same team. Okay, so we have 3 teams. And anything else? So I have 3 teams. So I have to make sure daily variables and daily capitals are same. I have to make sure rising supergiant and supergiant is same. Giant and giants. I have to make sure Deccan Chargers and Sunrise. So which is the latest one? Sunrise Hyderabad or Deccan Charger? Sunrises. Okay. Thanks, Sukantu. So we have to make sure Sunrises are same. There is one more team, Pune Warriors. Pune Warriors, Pune Rising Supergiant and Supergiants. All these 3 teams represents Pune city. So we are going to make them as one also. Okay. So the team identified as Pune Warriors. So what we are going to do? We are going to make Pune Warriors, Rising Pune Supergiants, Rising Super Pune Giant. All are the representing Pune, and so we are going to make them as one. Delhi Capital and Daredevils are representing Delhi. So I'm going to make them as one. And the third one, which you guys have pointed out, I didn't know about it. Sunrisers Hyderabad. I thought one represented Andhra Pradesh and one represented Telangana. So this team and where are the Deccan Chargers? And they are same. So these are the issues we are going to tackle now. So now, can you tell me when I have to do changes for my team, what all columns should I be concentrating on? These are all my column names. Okay, Samrit. Thanks. So can you tell me when I'm changing the team names, what all columns should I be concentrating on in my matches data set? Just write down the name of the columns. City, I know I have to change in the city column. What about team names? In what all column I have team names? Yes, please. Can I have some answers? Okay, Sukanto says team 1 and team 2. Any other column names? Think. You have worked with this database for about 3 or 4 hours. Now you know this database like a back of your hand. Winners, result. Batting team is Summit is in deliveries. We are not doing deliveries right now. We are just doing matches right now. Team 1, team 2, winner. Not the result, Ankur, not the result. The result is just whether it is a normal result, whether it was a tie or whether it was a cancelled match. So actually we have winner where we have the answer. Yes, Debashish, you are right. That is the answer I was looking for. Toss winner. So I have 4 columns where I have to take care of the name of the teams. Team 1, team 2, toss winner and winner. 4 columns. And for the city, I have to take care in only 1. So can I go ahead? So this is a command. Okay. Right. I just was thinking if I could wrap the text. So what I'm going to do is, number 1, I'm going to do it for my team 1 column. Okay. For team 1 column, I'll say my data frame name, the column name, and the replace. And since it's a method, so parenthesis, and I'm going to give it in the form of a dictionary. So what I'm going to replace? I'm going to replace super giants I think the latest name is one without the S, supergiant. That is what I checked on Wikipedia. Okay, I didn't know such a nitty-gritty detail, so I checked it on Wikipedia. So it's saying the latest name is supergiant and not supergiants, not with the S. So I'm going to replace Pune supergiants with supergiant. I'm going to replace Daredevils with their capitals. I'm going to replace Pune Warriors with the rising supergiant again. And then one you guys have told me just now, Deccan Chargers. I didn't know about it. Thank you for that. With Sunrisers Hyderabad. So, okay. So see, this is why the domain knowledge is so important. That is why you should be allowed to watch cricket match. Okay, now, so I'm going to go ahead and execute this command. Now I'm going to do the same command, same dictionary for team 2, for toss winner, and for the winner. So I'm going to just copy paste and make sure you do it in place for 2 so that your source database is changed. Source data set is changed. Okay, adding Deccan Chargers in all of it. Okay. All right, you guys also go ahead and do it. If you want, I can paste one command in the chat box so that it's easy for you guys to do it. Just for your convenience, those who want to use it, they can use it. Just replace the name of the data frame with whatever data frame name you have. Okay. So I have copied paste the same and change for the 4 columns, team 1, for team 2, for my toss winner, and for my winner. Okay. And my attributes for all these 4 were same. Since I was doing I have to ensure that same thing gets replaced. And for my city, I just did it for my Bangalore. Okay. So you guys go ahead and execute this command and let me know when you're done. Okay, so Kanto is done. What about the rest? All right, Everyone has done it. So Shan and Sukanta is saying done. So I believe almost. Can we go ahead now? Okay. Now, since we have done the changes, I need to see whether these changes have actually taken place. So I'll do some kind of a check and run unique on my team 1 and city. So now I have only one sunrises. I still have, just a second, let me execute it. I have only, okay, I did some kind of a spelling mistake. What? Oh, okay. I've given a space, that is why it has taken a different name. Okay. Let me execute it again and again. All right. It's still giving it as separately. Why? Guys, I just have to do something. It's my mistake that I have given extra space with my Sunrise Hyderabad, and it has taken those two data separately. So I just have to do these changes in my one. So you guys go ahead. You guys also run a unique on it so that you get to know, yes, whether you have done it correctly or not. See, I have not done it correctly because I gave it an extra space. So now I had to run it again. Now I'll change it back to taken charges so that sanctity of my code remains. All right, please go ahead and check your answers, whether you have actually correctly replaced or did some mistakes like me. All right, Ankur, you have question? You want me to unmute you? Yes, Ankur. All right. Yes, Ankur, you can go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Ankur, you are audible.
Yeah. So now that the problem that you faced, we kind of changed the original data set, right, ma'am?
Right.
So if we face that in real time when we are doing some stuff, how do we recover like the original data set? Should I go and clear all outputs and then rerun with?
See, in case you did some kind of a blunder, so it is always a good idea to create it into when you load your database from your CSV, your data frame from a CSV, then when you do the changes, you create a temporary data frame where you put all the output. So I can here create a new data frame, right? So in the real life, I would advise you to go ahead and do something like this. Okay, and then go ahead and do changes on your new DF. But any case, if you have done it, so you have done it, no issues, your CSV is original, right?
Right.
This thing doesn't have this unless and until you go and say save to CSV, your CSV remains original.
Right.
So if you want to recover it from there, so you go ahead and reload it from the CSV.
I mean, when we were trying to do this assignment or going through the async content, this is the thing I had also faced. Like if you use in place true, you end up replacing the original data set. And then what I was doing is like clearing all the outputs, rerunning it now that I know where the mistake is.
Okay.
So I was just wondering if there is a better way, or so
Yes,
you said do a temporary assignment, right?
Yes, do a temporary assignment and do all your changes on that assignment so that your original data set remains intact.
Okay.
Otherwise, the simple thing is you reload your, see, when you're doing and clearing up a kernel and re-executing your code, you're actually reloading it from the CSV, right?
CSV, right. Okay.
Right? Okay.
Thank you.
No, there is nothing called as undo here, Shan. There is nothing called as undo. So you have to redo it actually. Nothing called as undo. So if you put it in place as true, you go ahead and change your, you have changed your source data set. There is no undo. Okay. All right. So here, and I checked, now my teams have all unique. Now I check here, my cities are all unique. All right. Now let's go ahead and handle our null values. Okay. Yes, I have checked cities. Cities mein kuch, is there any mistake? Can you see? I didn't see any mistake. Yes, cities is there. Cities is unique. There is no Bangalore out here. And no repetition of any other cities. Oh, it is saying NaN. Yes, there is a NaN, I know, because we are going to handle that in the missing values. There is a NaN we are going to handle in missing values. Okay, now let's talk about missing values, right? Now, there are two commands, is NA or is null. Both gives me the same output. So what I will do is I'll run is NA or is null, whatever you desire, and do a sum of it. So it will give me all the null values in each of my columns. It will give me all the null values in each of my columns. So my city has 7 and my player of the match has 4 and my winner has 4. Since I've removed empires, so I'm saved with a lot of NAs out there. Okay. So if I do another sum on it, so in total I have 15 null values in my data set currently. Okay, I have 15 null values in my data set currently. Now to handle null values, you have to do accordingly. You have to design your command, or you have to think accordingly to the domain and the knowledge of your data frame. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Now what I have done here is I'm trying to fetch the rows which have the null values. Now since my number of rows are here are very small, I'm able to do it, but in case you have a larger database, these numbers might be quite high. Okay, so what I'm doing it, I'm not doing in place two, I'm just creating a NaN DF. Okay, I'm doing a NaN DF, that is a data frame. What I'm doing is for any data frame having the values in NA on axis 1, just fetch me those data. Okay, and highlight that data, highlight all that null values in red. So I'm going to execute it. It's just one command. So I'm creating a new data frame. This is a temporary data frame so that I know what are the null values. I can analyze those null values and decide how do I want to handle them. Okay, so I have created for is NA. So whatever the NA is on any axis, and 0 is for my rows and 1 here is for my columns, since it's a data frame. And I'm doing a little styling and trying to highlight it with my color red. So I have all my cities highlighted here, and here I have all my winners highlighted, and here all my player of the match highlighted. Can you do an analysis? Can you just all of you go through and see which city is missing? Can you identify which city is missing by looking at rest of the data? My hint is go and see the name of the venue, the stadium where the match was played. And for analyzing winner and player of the match, just check what was the result. So let me know if you can identify the issues with the data here, or whatever your analysis. Okay, Sukanto is yes. Sukanto is saying Dubai is missing. Okay, what about the winner and the player of the match? What you can draw conclusion? I'm giving you a hint. Look at the result column. Yes. Right, you're right, Sambit. It is a no result or a tie. So when I have a tie or when my match was cancelled, so there won't be any winner or the player of the match, right? So there should be a null value, right? Okay, everyone got it? Okay, let me, for the rest of you, see the places where my city is missing, right? I have a city out here. And what I do is I check my venue. When I check my venue, I see it is all Dubai International Cricket Stadium. So from this, I can conclude, okay, the Dubai International, the match was played in Dubai International Cricket Stadium. So my city is Dubai. So I should replace here the NaN values with Dubai, right? Okay. Now, when I look at my winners and the player of the match, I have NaN values here. So when I see the result here, the NaN values are in the on those rows where the result either is no result or when it was a tie. Okay, so here it is all no result. So what I'm going to do is, I know I should be replacing here city with Dubai because I know it from here. And secondly, since the match do not have any result, I'm going to replace these NaNs for winners and player of the match with drawn or cancelled. Okay. So let's do it for the city first, and then we are going to do for the winner and the player of the match. Okay. Now, one way is to identify the rows. Since there are a lesser number of data, so I can pick up the rows number from here. So it's 461, 2, 6, 468, and so on. So I identified the rows which has NaN for the city. So the one way of doing it is to use LOC. Okay. Remember, LOC is where I can access my data by specifying my row number indexes. Remember, iloc was for the labels and loc for the indexes. Okay. So I can go ahead and run this command, either this one, where I have my data frame, I use my loc and I give all my row numbers where I want city to be Dubai. Okay, a simple assignment statement saying in all these row numbers, give my city to be Dubai. Now this you can do if you have 5-7 data, right? So if I execute it, it will replace it. But then there is another option. The second option is using a Lambda function. Okay. Now, are you guys aware of the Lambda function? Have you guys done it in the basic Python? Let me know, please. Let me know if you have done Lambda function in your basic Python. Yes, you have done. Okay, so I can directly go ahead and use it. So what I do is, I'm using, in case I have more number of rows, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to write a command. Okay. What I want to change, I want to change the city column of my matches. I want to fill NA. This is another method which says fill the null values. Okay. Fill the null values. So fill NA. How I'm going to fill NA? I'm going to use my venue See here I have the benefit of the name of the city given in the venue. So I'm going to use that. If you don't have, you can use the first way. If your data set doesn't provide you the value from some other column, so you can go ahead and do it the first way. So I'll use fill NA. So it will, what it will do, it will go in the city column, identify those null values and pick up venue from the same row, slice the first 5, Dubai is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. First 5 characters and fill it in the Dubai, right? So earlier, if you see, I do not have any. So did you got this? I want to do in a city column. I want to fill the null values of the city column. How I do it? I wanted to pick the first slice of the first 5 characters of my venue. So I applied Lambda. So I applied Lambda, anonymous function. I sliced off the first 5 and I provided what I have to fill it in. I provided here and let's say replace in my original database. And then when I say execute it, my city names have been replaced here. Okay, my city names have been replaced. Okay, now in case you do not get any data from your values from your data set, you can provide one. So I'm just saying here, now I have to do for 2 columns, winner and player of the match. What I'm saying is, this is my data frame. You fill the null values. All right, I'm saying fill the null values. So it will concentrate only on the null values in the column winner. And what do you have to fill the null values with? Draws or cancelled. What do you have fill the null value of the player of the match? Draw and cancel. Just so that I do not have any null values during my analysis. So I've given my own data. So it is my own user defined data. This is a decision you take when you're discussing how you are handling your null values with your team. Okay, so I'll just check. I have my row numbers from here. So I'll go ahead and execute this. So you can see my replacement was handling of null values was successful. Okay. So now if I'm going to check, is there any null value? Sum. So earlier I got this value as 15. Now there are no null values. So null values handled. Okay. The next thing is to do certain sanity checks. Sanity checks is really based on your data set. Okay. Where you have to check for your incorrect data. Okay. So let's try to identify certain sanity conditions which says, yes, my data is, good and it does not have any bad values. So let's say DL applied, we know Duckworth-Lewis, we did a kind of analysis on it yesterday. The value should be 0 and 1 and no other. So I can either use value counts or unique to tell me there is any other value. No. So 0 and 1. So that means my DL applied column is good to go. Then the result column should have only values normal, tie or no result. There should be no other value. So I run a unique on it and I get. So this also result column is good to go. Now the season, again, I tried. So I know that my season is from 2008 to 2019. So I can go ahead and check the unique values. Yes. there is no other data out of my data set, which is out of my IPL seasons I am analyzing. All right. Another kind of a sanity check you can do is, there are two teams, team 1 and team 2 is playing. So the toss winner should be from either of those teams. Like if Mumbai Indians and KKR are playing, so the toss winner will be Mumbai Indians or KKR. It cannot be Royal Challengers Bangalore. Or the winner cannot be the Royal Challengers Bangalore, right? So there might be possibility your data. Okay, Shan, you can check on the resources. Yes, you can do that, please. Okay. So, so these are the kind of sanity checks you do when you, depending upon the data set. So I know when team Mumbai Indians and KKR are playing, the winner cannot be Royal Challengers. The toss winner cannot be Royal Challengers. It should be either from the Mumbai Indian or from the KKR. So this is kind of a sanity check I'm going to do here. Okay. What I'm going to do is, let me check first, discuss the condition. Is my match winner? So first I'm doing on the winner. Is my match winner is team 1 or is my match winner is team 2? And or see, remember we have added one more data value in the winner. Is my match winner is draw or cancel? Now once I get this data set where my match winner is either draw cancel or from team 2 or from team 1, I put all these three conditions in a single parenthesis and then I negate it. So any data which is neither team 1 nor team 2 nor draw and cancelled should come up here. The sanity check will check. Yes. Tilde means negation. That is what I'm saying. Tilde means here negation. Okay. So in case my winner is neither team 1 nor team 2 nor drawn and cancelled, it should come up here. So here in the end I put a shape just to get the tuple. So I am getting a 0 rows. So my data set is good to go. Okay. This is a pretty clean data set. That is why I'm not getting any problem with the sanity checks. So similarly, I do for my toss winner here, as I did for winner, and I'm getting it as a 0. So you can also think of any other conditions and try to do certain sanity checks, right? To check whether you have any incorrect data. Okay. The next thing we need to do is talk about outliers. Can someone tell me what are outliers before we proceed, if you understand what an outlier is? Yes, anyone? Can someone tell me what an outlier is? Yes, no idea. Okay, Anas, no idea. All right, data points outside the range. Can you please explain the last sanity once more? Which one you want, beta, winner or toss winner? Vikram? Both are same. See, for the Vikram, I'm doing it again. Anything, all right. So Vikram, when you are aware of cricket, right? So when Mumbai Indians and Kolkata Knight Riders are playing, the toss will be won by either of the team, either MI or the KKR. It cannot be won by Royal Challengers Bangalore or Delhi Capitals, right? Similarly, the winner of the match will be from these two, either the Mumbai Indians or the KKR, or the match would have been cancelled. See, now when somebody is entering a data to create my CSV out here, they can do a mistake, right? they can do a mistake, right? Okay, you understood the idea. You want to help with the code. Okay. Now let's see the code. So first of all, I'm going to concentrate on my inner conditions. What are the three conditions I'm using? The match winner. So this is my data frame. I can use either the dot or I can use the square box, square bracket notations. It's my choice. So my winner, so I'm just doing on the winner, double equal to, that means equality check, is either the team 1, is either Mumbai Indians, or the logical operator or out here. So this is my first condition. Okay, this is my second condition. The winner should be KKR, either Mumbai Indians, team 1 or KKR. So this is my second condition. It should be or, not and. Winners cannot be both, right? Remember, winners cannot be both Mumbai Indians and KKR. It will be an or, either this or that. So that is why logical operator or. All right. So this is my second condition. And or if neither of them are winner, my match was drawn and cancelled. And remember, in my data cleaning operation, I replaced nan values of winner by drawn and cancelled. Okay. So these are the three conditions. I have put or. So it will give me a database where these things are true. But my interest is not about the database where these things are true. My interest is in the database or data set where these things are not true. So a negation. Okay, so you got it? Good. So let's go ahead. Now let's talk about outliers and box plots. Outliers are those data points which is outside my general norm. So let's suppose I have a credit card, okay, and usually my monthly bill for my credit card is something around 10,000 rupees, right? And one day I did some shopping or did buy some major thing, and I paid 2 lakh rupees for that using my credit card. So my norm is that generally my spending is around 10,000, and suddenly there is a signal that pops up on the people who keep a watch on the credit cards that suddenly there is an increased spending on this credit card. So what the credit card people will think that, oh, it might be a fraud or it might be a genuine operation. They give me a call. Did you really spend it 2 lakhs on your credit card? If I have done it, I'll say yes. If I have not done it, I'll say no, and they will deny that payment. So this is something out of usual. So that is what my outliers are. Okay. Now, there is a graph called as box plot. Probably you might have done in statistics or might not have done in statistics, which helps me identify the outliers. You got an idea what an outlier are? Anas, you said you had no idea. Yes, Shikha, you are right. Data points outside the range. So, okay. Right, yeah. So now what I'm doing is I'm doing a box plot to identify my outliers. So box plot is a kind of a visualization or a chart, right? What it does is it gives you a very good idea about the distribution of your it gives you a how box plot gives me how my data is distributed, okay, and gives me a good idea about outliers. All right, and it is based on your 5-point summary we did. Max, remember 5-point summary, min, which you get from your describe, max, min, 25 percentile, 50 percentile, or a median, and a 75 percentile. So when you do a box plot, when you try to build a box plot, what you do is, first of all, you would draw a line wherever your median. So this is your chart. Okay, so wherever your median is, you draw a line. Then you draw a box around that line wherever your 25% value and your 75% value lies. Okay, so this becomes your box. So you have a median. These are your values. Okay, and this is on whatever the column sorry, you are analyzing. Then you have your whiskers out here. Now the data that falls between this range between 25% and 75% is called as interquartile range, IQR. Okay, this range of data value between 75 and 25 is called as IQR, interquartile range. And then you have two whiskers. Either this is max or minimum, or it is excuse me, just a second. Okay, either it is max or whatever your third quartile value is. So for max, it will be third quartile plus 1.75 IQR. This is a standard notation from your statistics. It's either minimum or your first quartile value minus 1.75 multiplied by IQR. So you can go ahead and look into your stats books. Okay. So whatever the value is minimum from these two, that will be my whisker here and here. Whatever is the here minimum, sorry, the either whatever is the higher, so that will be the miss. So any data point that lies beyond it is my outlier. Okay, so this is a box plot we are going to do, and this is the median. This is how it is built, and anything data point that lies outside is going to be my median. So I hope you got your box plot. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot it. Okay. To plot my box plot, I'm going to use my Matplotlib library. So my Matplotlib library is a visualization library. This is what I'm going to use, my Matplotlib library for my visualization. And in the next session, I'm going to use Seaborn. So today I'm going to use Matplotlib. So this is my visualization library, and this is based on my NumPy and my pandas. Okay. So it very well work with your NumPys and your pandas. So I can load my I have to load pyplot module. This is a Python plotting module from Matplotlib. Okay, so this is the module I'm going to use for plotting my charts from Matplotlib. So either I can say from Matplotlib import pyplot as PLT, you need an alias, or simply matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Okay, so you can do either of them. Then Now, whenever I'm doing a chart, I want my chart to show on this. If I want my chart to show on the same notebook and not as a separate file, I can use just a code percentage matplotlib inline. So I'll see my output right here. So I'm going to do an outlier analysis for my win by runs and win by wickets. Okay. So remember win by runs, I did a describe. We had a maximum of 146. Can you see? Minimum was 0, 25% was 0, 50% is 0, and my 75% is at 90. So it's quite a skewed database. It's quite a skewed values, right? So what I did simply PLT, I'm calling my Matplotlib, calling a box plot function and supplying it with my column name and asking it to show. I can do without show, but then it will give me some kind of, values, which I don't want to see. So where are the whiskers and where are the caps and where are the boxes and where are the filters. So I don't want all this data. So I just say show. So can you see how skewed my data is? My box, my median is at 0. So my box has been squished down. My top whisker is around 40, 45, or you can say, let's say 50. Okay. And anything that is above 50 has been put in my outliers. So all these points are outliers because most of your wins. When I plot a histogram for win by runs, let me show you. I have done it right. When I will come to histogram, I'm just showing you just to analyze my box plot. When I did my histogram for win by runs, almost 500 matches, my win by runs was around or less than 10 runs. That is why my box plot is so squeezed up to the bottom. So guys, go ahead and do it for the box plot. Yes, Ankur, you have raised your hand. You want to ask some question? Okay. So guys, go ahead and do a box plot for it. And then do a box plot for win by wickets. And tell me what it is the difference you see. Okay, guys, go ahead and do it for win by runs and win by wickets. And tell me the difference. If you can, you'll see a lot of difference. Yes. What about the outliers, Sukanto? No, there is 10 is your top whisker. There are no outliers, right? For win by wickets. Yes, what about the rest? Guys have done the box plot for both the columns, win by runs and win by wickets. So see, win by runs, you get a lot of outliers. And we know, say, if it is approximately, it has given your max value around 50. It's not taking max value as 146. As we know, this is the max value for win by runs. It has taken the high end to be, whisker to be at around 50, which is your third quartile plus 1.75 into IQR, right? So we have approximately 54 outliers for my, I did a check, I did a filtration, of win by runs approximately. I just assumed it's around 50, so I don't go for the exact number. So approximately around 50. And I filtered that data and check out its shape. And it's giving me there are some 54 such outliers for win by runs, right? But when I do by win by wickets, it's such a clean block spot. There is no lower whisker, and higher whisker is 10, and it's saying the median is around 4, and there are no outliers, right? Okay, Sambit, if you're getting attribute box plot, you probably have missed on the parenthesis. Just check on the parenthesis. Did you give these parentheses? That is why it is identifying it as attribute and not a function. Just can you write down your command here so that I can analyze it? But with the error, I can see this much only, that if it is saying box plot as attribute, you have forgotten your parenthesis. Import. Okay. You forgot one thing. In import Matplotlib, you need to import the module pyplot. The function is within the module pyplot. Okay. So forgot that one. Yes, nothing beyond whiskers means, Sukanto, there are no outliers. Everything is good. Okay, good. All right, now I can see in Python, I have lot of options. I can do a box plot with my Matplotlib. I can do a box plot with my pandas. Underlying is your Matplot library. And I can do a box plot with my Seaborn library also, which we are going to do in LS4. Okay. So these are the charts, visualization libraries. Like Seaborn gives you a better look and feel of the chart. So here, if you see a Matplot is giving you a basic chart, with Seaborn, you can always play with the colors and labels and legends and everything like that, and you can get a good look and feel about your plots. Okay, so today we are going to discuss only about Matplotlib. So if I want to do using Matplotlib, I say plt.boxplot, but I have option of doing with my pandas. So if I don't want to import my Matplot library, what I can do is I'll write my column based on which I want my box plot. And from pandas, I'll call a function called as plot and identify it as box. And the pandas will also give me a box plot. So I can do a box plot using a pandas. Although the underlying library here is a matplot, but I can do it using a pandas function also. Okay. So this is about the box plot. Now let's talk about histograms. Everyone done with the box plots? This is all I have to discuss. How to save these? Okay. If you want to save your charts, okay. Just a second. So if you want to save your chart, So what you can do is you can use a command called as save figure, and you can save it using that. I'll show you in the next class. I have done that in the C10 one. So you can do it using the save fig. There is a command called as save figure. Okay, so you create a figure and then you do a plotting on that figure, and then you go ahead and save that figure. So using that, you can save all your plots, right? All right, so now let's talk about histograms. Now we have done a box plot. Now let's talk about histograms. So someone can tell me what is a histogram? Histogram, something we did basically in your starts class, in your starts chapter, in your 11th or 12th or 9th or 10th. You probably have done it. So what we did was, we have some data. Say I have a data. Let's say, okay, yes, frequency distribution plot, right? So what I have is, say I have my team names. Okay, my pen is not working now. So sorry about it. So if I have my teams and number of wins, right? So I have my team A, B, C, D, right? Then I have, it has won 10 matches, B has won only 2, C has won only 5, and D has won 7. So when I put it A, B, C, and D, and I'll say plot number of wins. For A, it is 10, for B, it is 2, for C, it is 5, and D, it is 7. So I plot it like this, something we have all done in our school time. So similarly, kind of a histogram, I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw it for my data set. Okay. So this is a very basic distribution plot. In next class, we are going to talk about pie chart. We're going to talk about heat maps. We're going to talk about bar plots, line charts, and how to put two charts into one. So thing like that. We will more on charting using C10 library in the next class. But today I'm doing some basics. So now let's see how many matches resulted in close encounters. How many matches we had a close encounters. So what I mean by close encounters were, how many matches were close encounters. That means the victory margin was 10 runs or less. Okay, so victory margins was 10 runs or less. So what I'll do is I'll plot a histogram. Okay, and I'll do win by runs. Now you can see for less than 10 runs, there were 500 matches. Okay, for about winning margin of 20, there were about 100 matches. And for about 40, 50 matches. And as the winning margin increases, okay, as the winning margin increases, number of matches have gone down. Okay, so this is a simple graph. There are no x-axis, there is no x label, y label, no legend, no title. So how all appearance I can change, I'll discuss in the next class, or otherwise I can do it out here also. Let's say I say plot set so title match wins. Okay. Okay, subtitle or okay, it has. I'll let you know the exact command next class. Okay, so I can set title. I think set title was from the C10. Set title. I can set X label, XY label, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what you can do is right now. What if I want to do it win by wickets? So this is the conclusion and inferences I've drawn. So when I do it win by runs, about 500 matches, they were interesting and had a close encounter with. When I do for 20 runs or less, for 100 matches, and like around more than 100 runs, right? There were less than such 10 matches. Okay. Now let's try to understand histograms more, a bit of more on histograms, so that I can draw much more complicated histograms. Okay. What I did was, this is something different from your case study. What I did was something you have done in your probability. You roll 2 dices. Okay. You roll 2 dices. When you roll dice 1, I can get value from 1 to 6, and dice 2, I can get the value from 1 to 6. So when I add the values of dice 1 and dice 2, the range of values is from 2 to 12, right? The output would be from 2 to 12. The minimum value I'm going to get is 2 if both dices shows 1, and maximum value I'm going to show is 12 when both dices show 6. So what I do is I generate a random array using my NumPy, saying I want an array of 5,000. That means I rolled my dices 5,000 times, and my first dice is getting between 1 to 6, and I'm generating 5,000 random generations for second dice, and I'm generating a third array. Okay, a third array of adding both the values. Right now, I'm going to do a plot. I'm going to chart a plot distribution of this value array 3, sum of both the arrays. Now, in histogram, I have something called as bins, which you can identify as class in your statistics. When you have a class interval, or you talk about class or the categorical value. All right. So it is identified as bins. Now here my bins would be the values I'm going to get. So I can get 2, I can get 3, I can go 4 and till 11. Sorry, till 12. So I have 11 such values. So I'm going to identify bins as 11. Density is the frequency of each bin. So how many times I have got 2, how many times I've got 4, how many times. So this is something, the value you will have in your count distribution of your array 3. All right. I'm going to use some other variables, but let's do something basic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot histogram for array 3. And I'm going to use bins as 11 and density as 2 because I'm going to show this value. And I want to use a stacked up database. So I'll use plot.show so that I don't have some extra things written. So this is how I got. So this is the frequency. They have showed up between 0 to probability between 0 to 1. And this is the distribution. So my chance of getting a sum total of 7 is the highest. Okay. And my chance of getting 12 and 2 is the lowest. Right. So if you guys have played the game of dices many times, so what I can do is I can change the color here. I want, so it is all the appearances. So I'll get it in the red. And if I do it horizontal, I want orientation to be horizontal. So I'll get an horizontal one. So this is all different, options you can try with when you go ahead and do it. So the basic idea remains same. His type to be steps. So I'll just see the steps. So if I remove orientation as horizontal out here, so I'll see it as steps. Okay. So this is something more on histograms, which I didn't do it on our case study, something example outside my case study. Now, if you want a cumulative distribution, I can put cumulative to be true. What will happen? Cumulative distribution, if you remember, it keeps on adding row-wise data, right? So let me remove his type. So it has some, these are some basic stats. So if you don't remember, just go back to your 11, 12 stats and you will remember it. In cumulative frequency, we keep on adding the frequency of the subsequent rows, right? For 2 and then for 4, 6. So if I want a cumulative distribution for some of my variables, I can set cumulative to the 2. So basic variations of your basic histogram charts. But we are going to do much more charts in the next session and have 2 questions to be answered. One of the how to get sort the values in the sum column and how to get only the last row of the final matches, how to get the final matches of all the seasons. Okay, so I'm going to answer that in the next class. Okay, I did that calculations, but right now I did not see in my notebook. Okay, so that's all for today. Let me know if you have any questions. You can do it. You can plot your histograms. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes, I'll share both the files too. Okay, both the files. A last call optional question. Yes, I'll do that, Shambit, and I'll see if I can solve it, give you the answer for the final in that. I did it. I'll check my another notebook. So I've done that one. I'll share both the files again for LS2 as well as for LS3 because we did some changes in LS2 today also. Okay, I'll do that. Anything else? Any questions from your projects? I think yesterday you guys asked a lot of questions. I answered most, all of them. So any more questions? I want you guys this week try, you will be able to do your project in entirety. Yeah. So you will be able to do the project. So you guys go ahead and do your projects. So in case, yes, you need to start doing your project. Because now, whatever the project is, whatever the question is, everything is covered in LS2 and LS3. So in LS, there is no question there which will be covered in LS4. Okay, so your project doesn't cover it. So you can comfortably do your project now. And in case you have any questions, you can ask me in the next session.
Hi, Professor Lokesh here from Upgrad.
Yes, please, Lokesh.
Thanks for the session. And if session is over, can I launch the feedback?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. I'm done with the session today.
Sure. And hi, learners. Like I shared the feedback from over the chat, requesting to share feedbacks over there.
Okay. Lokesh, yesterday also in yesterday's class from 7 to 9:30, they shared a feedback form. There was an error in that feedback form. So
yeah, what we did is like we shared a new feedback form on the Telegram learners Telegram group.
Okay.
We got the feedback from there.
All right. Okay. Because I have not received that feedback form's output.
Yeah, ma'am. Like maybe by Monday, like entire feedback will be shared from our end.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Lokesh.
Thank you, Professor.
All right. So guys, please do share your feedback. It will help me. a lot. And I'll take a leave now right here. Lokesh, you will be closing the session, right?
I'll be closing the session.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Debashish, you are asking about the examination, term and examination. I did drop a mail to my coordinator yesterday, and she has forwarded to the examination cell again. And I'm still to receive any information from that examination cell. So what I'll do is I'll call up her on Monday and try to get some more information. And in case I don't get it by LS4, I'll ask them to share it on your Telegram channel. That is all, because unless and until I hear it from the examination department, I cannot tell you because I myself don't know what kind of examination they want to conduct, what is their format, and what type of questions they're asking. So I need the right answers from the examination department before I can share it with you. Sorry, Debashish, I'm following it up, but let's hope I hear from them this week and I'm able to tell you in the LS4. Any other questions, guys? Okay, then I'll take a leave from you guys and see you next Saturday. And please do the project, and I'll share the both the code files with my coordinator, and you